guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I'm Mike.
Jay.
Hey. My name, Yev.
My name is Jeff.
And we're reviewing The Forest. Now let me give you guys some backlog.
I don't want it.
Seeing this trailer a little while ago, it was like, damn, that looks good. The trailer looked fucking good. It looked good as shit. It was good throwback to those Japanese horror movies. Like, horror goes through things, right? It goes through phases. There was the Scream phase, and then when The Ring came out, we went through the Japanese horror remake phase.
But you know what this movie does? You're right. The advertisements, they look great. The fucking trailers look amazing, just like The Gallows. It looked good, looked exciting, looked like fucking intense. It's no different than when a girl's hot and she's parading around saying, hey, look at my ass, come and have sex. That girl has herpes. She thought I wouldn't notice, but I did.
And just to clarify, when he says The Gallows, he means the trailer looked good. The Gallows was like the worst fucking movie ever.
The review we
no, you're absolutely right. The trailer looked good. Natalie Dormer, hot as shit. Jesus. Game of Thrones, Natalie Dormer. You got a good actress in the movie. You've got a great idea for a movie. Like that whole Japanese Nakawaka Forest.
Nakawaka.
That
sounds like water.
I can't remember the actual name of the forest.
Nicaragua?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
You've got the Japanese forest where people go into it to kill themselves, and there's this whole idea that there's the spirits and like they're angry now, and that's the way they portray it, which has caused a whole bunch of controversy. We won't even get into that, and the fact that they whitewashed the film, all that stuff. We won't get into that stuff because that stuff didn't bother me. I just wanted to see a movie that scared the shit out of me. Yeah. So like I see the trailer, it looks good. I think that maybe we're gonna get a throwback to The Ring, those type of movies. We haven't seen one of those in a while. I think maybe it's time for another one to come out. And no, John, no.
This is a Hollywood basically saying we're gonna lure you in with some sweet promises in the night, and we're gonna slap a fucking cock on and just slap you in the face over and over repeatedly after we take your money because you paid to be fucked in the butt. That's what happened. We got fucked in the butt. This face is the face that I had while watching. Like it was absolutely terrible. It was one of the worst, not one of the worst, but it's definitely in the top 15 worst movies I've had to sit through in the theater and just endure. Because after about 40 minutes, I'm just like, when the fuck is this bitch over? Yeah. Like, when's it over? And it sucks. You're right. Natalie Dormer is a great actress. I mean, she's hot. She's got a lot of talent. She's amazing on Game of Thrones. So they had a great, and actually the cast isn't that bad. Like, it's well acted. It's just that this guy, the director or the script writers, whoever it was, they were like, you know what? We need to just have jump scares, and they're bullshit jump scares.
It's 1,000% the director on this one. I feel like even the script, like they set it up to where there's actually a decent backstory with these two twins, right? The whole story is that her sister goes into she moves to Japan or whatever, right?
The twin.
And then her twin sister moves to Japan or whatever, and then she goes missing, and she was last seen going into the suicide forest, so everybody assumes she went to kill herself. The girls have this tortured history, which I won't even get into. Like the setting, where it was set at, the idea behind it, the actors, the look of the film, it was all there. It was all there and primed for a Ring type scary ass fucking movie. Depending on how you feel about the whitewashing and like them using that forest for a horror movie or whatever, if you're not offended by that, it's the perfect setting for something. And then the director,
we know. Why are you doing Mozart?
It was all there except for when it came time to make the scares happen. The setting was there. You're ready. Your body is ready. You're primed to be scared, and it was like the most generic horse shit. Fucking the worst. If you think back to when horror was doing the constant Japanese remakes, when it got into bad territory, when they were just terrible CGI and everybody was trying to do the Ring thing, this was the worst version that you could possibly think. Well, the CGI was shit. Everything.
Well, I agree with you 100%. Like, the thing about this movie is they don't have to really worry about backdrop. I mean, at all. They don't have to worry about setting the scene because the scene's set for itself. You're right, with the backstory idea, with the setting itself, it's there. It's all there. They were just like so concerned maybe with that cheap thrill bullshit scare. Yeah. Like, they're like, hey, let's just make this a teeny bopper fucking movie that you can take your girlfriend to and not give a shit about, maybe get a blowjob in the back, whatever you're gonna do. But that's what they were concerned with. But it's been proven time and again that you can have a great story, a great horror movie that is driven by fucking storytelling and not just because it's jump scares. Sinister, Insidious, fucking even The Ring, Grudge. Conjuring, The Grudge, I know people have a disagreement on that, but Grudge scared the fuck out of me. But those movies had great storytelling involved with not just the jump scares, because I have no problems with jump scares at all, as long as they make sense in the overall scope of the film. Like, this just feels like they were just doing it cheaply. It's like, I have no idea how to tell this story. Jump scare!
Yeah,
Jump scare!
Exactly what it was. Like, there's one scene where she goes and she unzips the tent, and you know the scare's coming, and it's just like, it's an exact ripoff of that scene in The Ring when the camera goes upstairs and like, boom, in the closet, that kid's like, ah!
Fuck out of
that fucking scene, they try to do that, and it's just terrible. Like, the CGI on the demon face or whatever looks like shit.
You gotta throw back to The Ring on that one?
No, it's what they were trying to.
Oh, yeah, I thought, because when you were talking about the tent, I thought they were throwing it back to Blair Witch. Because that was cool shit.
No. I'm talking about the very first thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no. There's a particular scene where even though the movie's been bullshit up to this point, you're thinking shit could get really scary right now. They're in the middle of the forest. You know it's time now. The movie has settled in to where we're gonna get the scares. And something creepy starts happening around the tent, and it could be so good. And instead, it's this. It has nothing to do with the story. It's just like, you know what scares people? Fucking old people. So let's just do this real quick.
Old people? That scares the shit out of me.
Every morning I wake up and I think, man, I hope I don't have to fuck an old person
When you
today.
get desperate, it happens.
But yeah, all of a sudden there's just like, and this isn't even a spoiler or anything, because it has no fucking context in the movie anyway. All of a sudden an old person's like, eee!
Yeah, they have,
like, it doesn't make any sense.
The Golden Girls show up in the forest for some reason and they rush her. Like, we were on air for a whole time.
And it doesn't go tell the story. It doesn't end up meaning anything. Nothing means anything. It's like somebody who has only seen popcorn horror movies like Annabelle and shit, came in and took over everything and was like, we need to make these type of scares happen. They took a good horror setting and fucked it to shit.
And just to clarify what he's saying, so nobody out there says, well, this was part of the plot. Yes, we understand that the forest in the movie The Forest makes you see shit, and that was the whole idea, was this random, you see weird things going on and they're supposed to like make you go crazy. But me seeing three old ladies in the forest jumping at me, the last thing I'm thinking is like, I'm going crazy. I'm thinking, is there a nursing home that's missing 3 people? But by the way, I just want to say this. I know I said by the way twice, but don't worry about it. We're going to move on from that. I want to say Natalie Dormer as Avril Lavigne and her twin, because when she's all goth, hot as fuck.
I know.
Like, I just want her to sing me a song.
And that's what these horror movies do, isn't it? Look back to Silent House. Like, okay, we've got this horror movie. We've got to walk around this house for 2 hours and investigate every nook and cranny. You know what's going to help? Let's get a really attractive woman for everyone to look at. And they do that. And they did that with this. And Natalie Dormer did a good job. I think 70% or so through the movie, even she couldn't carry it anymore, because it's at first where she was like a really good scream queen type character, all of a sudden even she was just like, ah!
I think she was at that point, just thinking, I'm on Game of Thrones, what the fuck am I doing here? But also, did you not feel like that too? It's like, there's that one thing, when you're sitting there watching this movie and you know it's dog shit, when you know you've stepped in a pile of shit and you've already paid money and you gotta feel like you gotta endure it because you don't want to be that asshole that walks away from the movie after you look like an idiot because you paid money for it. So you're sitting through it.
What's an aviate, though?
An aviate?
Mm-hmm.
What's an aviate?
That's what you said.
Aviate.
You said you don't want to look like an aviate.
Asshole.
I thought you said idiot.
Idiot?
But you meant to say aviate.
Maybe I did because the beer's making my tongue do things. I'm sorry. Okay, well, you don't want to look like an asshole and walk away from the theater when you pay good money and you've stepped in dog shit. I felt like when I'm sitting there watching this, the only things that could come to my mind is, wish I could turn back time to the good old days.
Yeah,
it's like Blurryface was there. I was Blurryface at that point.
It really was.
I mean, there is no rhyme or reason to this movie. There is no fucking redeeming factor for this movie, other than the fact that it looks good. I mean, it's shot well as far
Except
as
for
other
the
than
scares.
the CG bullshit that they add.
Like I said, everything's there, but when it comes time to scare you, it throws out the most generic shit you can possibly think of. It's almost a prank in the way that they do it.
Yeah, and also, I was going to say the most intense part of the film, the most intense part of the film isn't even paranormal. There's nothing supernatural about it. It's actually scary in the fact that that's happening, and that could happen in real life if somebody were losing their grip on reality. Jump in the cabin, towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
That part is good. But that there is no build-up of suspense. There is no build-up of characterization as far as, they do invest a little bit in it, but they don't build it up in a way that brings the tension and ratchets it up in a way that you're like, something fucking good's gonna happen.
And at that point, you've been burned so many times, like, oh shit, I'm ready for a scare, and then you're gonna do this, oh my god, scary face! And then it doesn't mean anything. Someone wakes up and it's a dream sequence or whatever it is.
Him and I were laughing out loud at certain parts of the film. That's when you know it's bad. Just like the gals, it's so fucking atrociously bad and over the top idiotic that you laugh.
Yeah.
I didn't say navid, I said idiotic. But it's so bad. Like when you're like, shit, I'm gonna laugh now because there's nothing to do except laugh or I cry. Which
And
one I'm gonna
then,
do?
like, if you somehow make it to the end of the film and you're unsure and you don't know how you feel about it, and it's like, is this a total fucking bullshit horror movie, or is this a movie that could have been good? The last scene comes
Yep.
up, and you know they're gonna try to do that last thing, and when this scene happens, I mean, it solidifies its place in shitty horror fucking history. That last 2 seconds is the worst, most corny, CGI, awful looking bullshit I've ever seen in my fucking life. And you put the fucking Christmas wrapping paper on that shit,
Basically,
and sold it to the shitty movie factory when you did that.
Basically, what you did was left a turd in the toilet and did not flush.
You didn't even flush it.
Did not flush, and that means when you're pissing, you gotta pee on that turd, and you don't want to, but you have to because you have to pee. That's what happened. It's graphic in the way I described it, but it's true. I'm sorry. But I was also say, did you not feel like the very end? This is exactly what the end. It should have just had the fucking girl and what was going on and say R.L. Stein and go, Goosebumps. It felt like Goosebumps.
Yeah,
like it was a Goosebump ending. Actually, Goosebumps would probably be better. Like an episode of Goosebumps would probably be better by the end of this film.
Yeah.
And it's PG-13. And you know what?
And it should have been.
There's a guy, we were at a Regal, and there was a guy out there, and he worked there, and he wanted to know how good it was. And I felt bad giving him the bad news, like it fucking sucked. Oh man, damn, I had high hopes. And I think most people did watching this trailer. And I did. I thought it was me.
I thought it was going to be good. It's ultimately, for me, it's a 3.5.
It's a 3.0. I actually dropped my rating because I was like, well, just talking about it makes me more angry. I'm an angry spirit right now.
It was scary, and good actors, great idea. If someone were going to remake this, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's good. Remake this. Don't remake this film. Use that story, and somebody good make it. I'd be good.
Do you think they could do a sequel and make the sequel better? Yes.
No.
Yes, they could.
No sequel.
If they got a better director and a better, like, they're going to make a sequel. You know they will.
It depends on how much money it makes whether they have a sequel. But that's our question to you guys. What is your favorite of those Japanese remake horror films? What's your favorite? Mine's easily The Ring.
Yeah, with Ringu. The Ring,
yeah, totally. So that's our question today. Comment down below. Let us know. And also, what horror movie are you most excited for going forward? Ours is The Witch, for sure. Comment down below. Let us know. Follow us on Twitter Follow us at Twitter. No, wait. Follow us on Twitter at WeWatchedAMovie. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some wham up in your forest.
You always like finger somebody when you do that.
I do.
Look, deep.
It's wishful thinking.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.